Hello, Smarties, and happy Tuesday. Today is the last day of March. Can you believe it? Oh my gosh, Q1 is entirely over. This is the last day to get in your checking goals, your credit card apps. Be sure to make sure everything's on the tracker, okay? You do not want to be missing anything because you know what? You're not going to get credit for it. Does that sound familiar? Did anyone have that sales call this morning? It's all too real. Oh my gosh, I can't believe tomorrow's April 1st. That's wild. How's everyone doing this morning? Oh no, shoot. It's afternoon. It's 1 o'clock. We are doing an afternoon show today. So thank you for taking your afternoon break with us. I had a doctor's appointment this morning and I wasn't sure how long it would take me to get back. So I scheduled the show for the afternoon because it's like a little bit of a commute for me. But in all honesty, I was like, I should have like a car stand for my phone so we can drive and chat. Because like when you're on like Route 2 or 95, it's just a straight shot anyway. Like we could be talking our banking stuff there, right? Why not? All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Carrie Cormier. I am the host here at The Carrie Show. It is named The Carrie Show for everyone who told me in my life that is not The Carrie Show. It sure is. I am a financial services executive by trade, currently taking a much needed sabbatical from corporate life and using that time and energy to just focus on all the passion projects, one of them being Bank Smart Studio. So I'm so excited to be here. And although my background is in retail and digital banking, my heart and passion is really in marketing and social media. So I'm a total nerd about those things. And you'll see that a lot of the topics that I talk about come through that lens. And I am definitely most days a digital banking girl in a passbook savings world. How many of you can relate to that? Yeah. Oh my goodness, we have quite a show for you today. If my glasses just fall off my face during the show, we'll just keep going, okay? The show must go on. I feel like they're crooked and I need to like adjust them, but I snapped one of the sides off right before the show because I was brushing my hair because it's raining out here and I was outside and my hair just got like all messy. And like I want to be like the best for you studio friends, right? Like okay, but here we are. So we'll just keep going. Shout out in the chat where you're tuning in from. I am about 45 minutes west of Boston here in Central Mass, and it is a beautiful, like almost 70 degrees today, but it is a little clammy and rainy. So not the best for hair weather. If you know, you know, right? All right, cool. So big happenings this week. Very big happenings. We're going to talk all about it. One of the things that we talk about a lot here at the studio is the concept of around the web. So I'm going to do a down and dirty on what that means and how it can benefit you at your organization. Oh my gosh, they're already falling. Should we switch to the heart glasses? It might be too soon. Should we do no glasses? I don't know if I'm ready for that. This is going to bother me. We're just going to take them off. See? Okay. All right. We tried. What if? Nope. Okay. All right. I have a backup pair. Okay. But they're not as cute. They're a little different. Oh my gosh. Thank you for all the hearts and likes. There we go. Okay. We're going to be a little different today. All right. Cool. Love this. All right. So around the web. So this is something that I talk about a lot here at the studio. And let me pull up two things. First, we are going to go tell Twitter that we're live. So our friends over on the Twitter, the X, can come join us. Ready? Post. Bam. Oh no, it's not going. Okay. Yeah, we're going to post. Okay. And that froze. Lovely. I wonder how my okay. We're just going to skip that. We're going to skip that. That's cool. Ready? My other screen froze, and that's so annoying. So we're going to see if I can double click. New window. Okay. And Google. Oh, we're unfreezing. We're unfreezing. Maybe, maybe not. Yes. Okay, cool. You guys are so good. Thank you for being along for the ride. All right, cool. So one of the things that I talk about a lot is the concept of around the web. So when I've worked in corporate life, I have done this, I'm going to call it a little newsletter, but it's really not a newsletter. It's more of a Word doc where I dump in information that's happening in our community, at other banks and credit unions, like kind of like a competitor report. I've done it compiling different social media trends. I throw in some articles about things that are happening both in the industry or in broader terms. So I'm going to walk you through what an actual around the web looks like. And our shows really end up being a lot of around the web news. But I want to show you where that comes from and how you can use that at your organization. Sound good? Cool. So I originally got this idea from someone that I worked with, and she would do a competitor report. And so that would be a roundup of things that were happening on social media specifically and how it impacted our business. And I thought that was so cool and so helpful. And anytime I saw something really good, I would screenshot it and send it over to her, and she'd throw it in the competitor report. Now, the competitor report went out every Monday or Tuesday. I forget which day it was. And then she would also compile some of our social media stats and share how we were doing on social, how that compared to other organizations. And some of that used like a Hootsuite or a social monitoring tool that she was able to do that competitor analysis, which was like so helpful. But as I kind of grew in my career, I found this very helpful as a way of aggregating things that were in my brain that I wanted to share with other people that I worked with that I'm not sure that they actually knew how important some of this stuff was. And for me, who like lives online, this stuff is in my mind all the time. So it was also a great way to help me get it out of my brain and share it with others, because sometimes I automatically assume that they know what I'm talking about, and they don't. So I'm going to pull up, and now I didn't filter any of this out, so you're getting a raw one. I don't have a lot saved because I whatever organization I would be at, I would save them on my my drive there, like my network drive. But most of the time I would build it in a Google Doc and then export it and then just delete and start over on the Google Doc, because I would be able to upload images or screenshots easily from my phone. So this is some way to do it. And I will say that I always thought it had to be fancier, right? A nice layout, maybe a header with some quick stats. One of the things I learned early on from my colleague was that literally it's a Word doc. Don't spend a lot of time making it fancy. It is a brain dump, because the most important part is communicating and getting that information across. So we are going to look together and see what's in this actual one that I had sent out to a team. So this could mention people in my community. It could mention competitors. It could mention trends. We were going to see. I'm just going to pull one up. So I saved this. It came out of my like drive, and I'm blind. I should have a different pair of glasses on. The other ones had my reading glass. Okay. Anyway, so I'm getting old. So this one, let me pull it up in a larger form so I can like go back and forth. And we have, we're going to tie this all together in the end with some like really fun trends that are happening lately. Okay. So this post, everyone can see it, right? Oh no, I don't think I added it to stage. Did I add it to stage? I always forget to do that. No, I did. Good job, Carrie. I'm so proud of you. Drop another heart if you're proud of me too. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Love that. So this one was from around end of the year 2024, beginning of the year 2025. So I tried to do these weekly or bi-weekly. But when you're the executive also doing a million other things, sometimes they're a little late. So this is a compilation probably of a lot of the things that were happening in November, December that I then distribute in January. So it's not very timely, but you'll get the drift. So I put them together into themes. So this one shows Small Business Saturday. So it took a little screenshot of what different banks and credit unions in our area were doing for Small Business Saturday. It threw some, I like to do a little commentary on it because I want people to know what I'm thinking. And that doesn't happen magically. Because if you're not living in this every day, you're not always drawing the inferences that most people that live and breathe social or marketing or even business development really understand. So you want to make it translatable to those in other roles. So maybe those that are in back office or those that are in the branch network that don't understand how some of this stuff all ties together. Sometimes executives just think social is a nice to have, but it's really a core part of your business. So I try to tell the story and weave it all together. So you'll see this talks about how credit union in our area, what they did, and how they saw some good engagement, because I like to tie it into results. Another bank did some random gift card giveaways, blog posts, in-branch displays. So it kind of shows the whole different like story of what places did and how they did it differently. Then I like to talk about like sometimes things that I know that people don't always know. So one example, there was a Mutual One bank in they're in like the Framingham, Natick area. And okay, it's on the next page. It feels like a total missed opportunity because I want to like talk about it. There is this amazing, amazing, amazing. They've moved to Hudson. So if you're in the Hudson area, this is a great idea to collab with them for this Small Business Saturday. Look them up, Calliope Papery. They're a phenomenal like stationery, stickers, like supply, like pens, markers, the most adorable shop, and they slay it on social. Christina and her brand is just so phenomenal. And she just moved from Natick to Hudson, Mass. But she did the design for this shop, Natick. She was in downtown Natick, and she did the design for the bag. And on it talks about proudly supported by Mutual One Bank. Now, if you're paying to be the name on the tote bag that's going to be paraded up and down downtown, you want to be talking about it. You want to be promoting it. You want to be as involved as you can. And they did nothing. So this was a huge miss for them, and no shade, because I do know some people over at Mutual One and they're great. But this is something you can learn from, because Calliope has a great following and they could have gotten some traction on their socials from collabing with her. So just kind of talking about some of the wins, some of the misses, some of the results, and it kind of helps give your own team ideas for next time. So also when you start to like approach these ideas with them, they're like, oh yeah, I remember something about that. So they don't think your ideas are as wild next time you do it. It's planting the seed. So here's just some more about Small Business Saturday, all the variations, and then we got into a little bit about Cyber Monday and Giving Tuesday. Now, if you've ever followed NetBanker, who Jim Brune, he always did this blog. I don't know if he still does it. He always did this blog about Black Friday and like Cyber Monday deals. And I used to read that when I was on the teller line. And it was like one of my goals was to like do a Black Friday deal. And I did, like, goal unlocked and achieved. I did do a series of Black Friday promos. I actually had a branch that was down the street, like almost across the street from like a large mall in Massachusetts that had like a high end, they call it the Natick Collections. They had a lot of high end shops. And so we had, and this is for a whole nother show, we should do it closer to Black Friday. We brought a DJ in and did a giant DJ Black Friday party 2 years in a row. And it was phenomenal. So much fun. So I always wanted to be highlighted. Never was. Although I need to look him up and see if he still does his blog. I know he sold part of his business. Anyone know? Does anyone follow NetBanker? We'll see. But this is, about Giving Tuesday. That's a big thing that banks and credit unions do. A lot of this is like screenshots that I'm sharing, because there's always so much to talk about. And some of it they put in their posts, so you don't need to rehash it. But then I, talked about some M&A announcements that were in our market. We had like 5 of them within that like couple 1 month period or so. There was a brand refresh. So some of this is like, may not directly impact you, but it also, like, if you're thinking like, hey, we might have a brand fresh down the road, how can we adjust ours? Or how can we respond to comments or perception in the market of our brand or other people's brand in the market? Lots of different ideas, but this is just kind of sharing so that people in my organization had like a baseline of what was going on in the industry in our area. So then this was just like a little not legal, like a compliance update. The FDIC was requiring a notice to be in online banking, talking about that the deposits were insured by FDIC in digital banking channels. It has not come down as a ruling for credit unions yet through the NCUA, but I wanted to let my team know that this is something that they may see out there. Consumers may have questions on it, on why their bank's app talks about being insured, but their credit union's app doesn't. And it's was just a requirement, and likely something that I say right here, can we expect the NCUA to follow suit? So like some thought-provoking questions. And just some examples of that. So then that kind of came out of a recent fintech failure. So I said, speaking of fintech failures, the Yada customers continue to speak out about lack of answers. So this was an app that did like gamified savings and rewards. A lot of people on TikTok were using it and talking about it. It ended up failing, I think, in the Evolve Synapse Bank collapse stuff. So talked about that and how it kind of reinforced the importance of the FDIC NCUA coverage. Then we talk about there was a local credit union near us doing 70 random acts of kindness. Highlighted a little bit about that because that was very ingrained in the community that we were in. What it was getting for likes and shares. Definitely good on the engagement side. So it also helped show our team that when you collab with people in the community, when you show pictures of community members, both at your organization and outside, it really helps amplify your social engagement. We'll kind of skim through the rest of it. Like, so holiday fun, just kind of everyone in our area showing their holiday flair. A lot of places were starting to be named to the top places to work in 2024 for the Boston Globe, which is a big honor in this area. And some of them were repeat winners, and then some people were starting to show up as new contestants, but they rode that train for quite a few weeks about being the top places to work. And it also I didn't write this here, but it signaled a shift in some organizations for the focus on employee satisfaction and wellness. And it shows because a lot of what I know about the Boston Globe top places to work, it's not something that you just randomly get picked for. You have to like almost apply for it. You have to get a certain percentage of employees to respond to a survey or something like that. So it's like a giant internal campaign, and you don't just luck out and get this. So it really signaled a shift that there were certain places really focused on attaining this designation and being perceived as a great place to work, which is totally cool, but it makes you wonder, what other things do they have going on? Are they going to be attracting or looking for talent? Are they going to be stealing some of our talent? Like, so these are just kind of things you can think about as you read through these trends. Similarly, there was a team recognition and appreciation. A lot of places were starting to post, specifically for the holiday season, different ways to appreciate their staff or recognition on the graduation of certain leadership programs. I thought that was super cool. We know that anytime you're able to share about what's going on within your organization and highlighting employees or team members, that gets a lot of excitement because people love seeing people that they know in the community. I liked this one. I don't know if a lot of people caught this, but at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, Pays had a big spot, and I kind of tell people about what Pays is in here because I think at my organization a lot of people didn't know, and you want to make sure when you talk about building a digital literacy within the organization and building a culture of digital, that you make sure when these trends and topics come up that you're sharing them, that you're highlighting them, because you want to make sure that if someone comes in and asks someone on your teller line, or they call the contact center and ask about, hey, are you guys integrated with Pays, or can we use our card with the Pays online checkout? You have the answer to that. And you don't just like, oh, it looks stupid, because it says on here, it's an online checkout for banks and credit unions, and Pays is a trademark of Early Warning Services, which we know are the creators of Zelle. So at the time, a lot of places weren't, what's the word? Enrolled. I don't know if that's the right word, but members of this. But when they launched with the brand, it was probably some of the big five, right? But when they launched with the brand awareness, it prompts questions. So you want to make sure that your team is adequately prepared for those questions. So I threw that in there and a little bit about, because you can't trust that that's going to come always from those departments, although it should. Spotify Wrapped, that was a big one. And I always did, me and my coordinator would do a retail Wrapped and highlight all the things that happen within the retail team, the wins, the losses, the promotions, the everything, and share that out internally. So I tease that a little bit. And Genius Bank is always good with their Wrapped. They do a nice job. Course, New Year's ringing in with resolutions, financial wellness. That's like one of 2 times throughout the year where people really hammer in on that topic. So I showed how people in other organizations were highlighting that. We have a couple more slides. Team building. So I thought this was cool. Country Bank hosted a team building event where they stuffed animals to donate to local hospitals, and a lot of places are always looking for fun team building events to do, and I thought this one was really special because it had a purpose. It wasn't just let's do trust falls and stupid bingo games where we try to find someone that was born in a different state. No one cares. This had like a purpose, and I thought it was really awesome because when I shared this out internally, I had quite a few other department managers or leaders come back and say, oh my gosh, we should do something like that. And it's not necessarily to copy them, right? But it's a way to build on what they did and do it similarly to for a cause. Like, I love that anytime we can find a way to give back beyond the big check picture is so important. And I love what they did here. Great job, Country Bank. Main Street Bank was doubling down on financial literacy, as was Clinton Savings. So you can see these are all ones that were in my direct area, and I kind of like screenshotted the themes. Then frauds and scams were a big one. People were posting a lot about that. And then I start to get into a little bit of a narrative because I like to be a rumor monger, to get the gossip, the hot deets that are on the socials. And so I'm trolling all the local Facebook groups. I want to see what people are talking about when it comes to financial services, banks and credit unions. What are they mad about? What are they looking for? Who's interested in a new bank? Because people will literally tell you everything about their money online, which is so wild. So we had a local credit union, no surprise. They kind of like just, they had some like issues in different aspects. They had a technology project fail. They closed a branch like kind of out of nowhere that people didn't like know what to do. And then they had this, and I'm looking at my other screen here. They had this debit card issue. So they don't address any of it, which like we need to talk about one day, like PR and how to respond. Because banks and credit unions are not good at this. Guys, I'm sorry. We're not. I have so many bad PR examples. of like what not to do. And the best thing not to do is stay silent. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't say no comment. Like we will get into this, but like they were silent. So I talked about like what was the sentiment out there in the community, because not necessarily that we're going to steal customers from them, right? But we're going to understand what pain points are for our members and our customers in that community, because chances are there's a big overlap, and this is the same sample of people that we do business with, and it helps us understand them better. And I think that's important. So there's just some screenshots of some of the complaints and comments, and I did an informal poll over when people said, I'm looking for a new bank or credit union, what was the percentage of responses, so you could kind of see in an informal way who is has the most like brand ambassadors out there of people that are bragging on behalf of their bank. Like who does that? But there were certain people that felt so strongly about their bank that they would go online and say, oh yeah, you should bank at DCU. I love them. And that actually, look, had like 42% of all the feedback. There was like 85 responses. So I thought that was really cool. And then I always end it with some quotes and good reads. And I put some articles in there that are really good or interesting to me. And then I'll put the headline, but then I'll also put a too long didn't read. So I think this one's funny. One of them says, survey finds Gen Z uses buy now, pay later for Christmas shopping and takes on record debt in the process. So my too long didn't read, for those that didn't want to read the article, it says buy now, cry later. Klarna's new Santa, but missed payments and sky-high fees aren't exactly festive. I love it. I wrote those all myself, okay? I'm funny when I want to be. When fraud hits some banks, see opportunities for a win. This was in Banker and Tradesman. Too long didn't read. Fraud happens, handle it right, and nearly half of your customers will like you more. Screw it up, and well, good luck with that. Oh my gosh. So I think this is helpful because when I see like good quotes or good articles, your colleagues, your peers, your bosses, your subordinates, they might not be in tune to the same things you are. So this is really a helpful tool for me to be able to share what I'm interested in, what I'm passionate about, what I think affects our market area, and share that with others. So think about how this lands in your organization, right? You're like, great, Carrie. I love that you do this. Cute. Good for you. Good for you. Okay. Good. Good for you. All right. You're wonderful. But how does this affect me? So, okay. Think about this. If you're a channel leader, right? Say you run digital banking or BSA or risk or compliance. Think about all the topics or trends that you're passionate about and important to you, but others don't care about. And if there was only a way to get them a little FaceTime or to understand them better, I think something like this would be a great way to highlight trends and things that are happening in your area. Maybe tell a little bit of a story. I worked with a good BSA officer who was phenomenal at storytelling. And she would send us articles, but she would talk about how it related to the work that they do and the fraud that they've uncovered within transactions that were running through our organization or whatever, and how piecing it together and reporting it in help piece it together at other organizations, and maybe would help the FBI or the ATF or all of this stuff string together themes. And these are things you don't know. You just think, oh my gosh, BSA is so annoying. Could they stop asking me to call that customer? Like, they're in here all the time. They're fine. I don't know what the big problem is. Why don't they call them? Sound familiar? Now, so it's a great way to, even if you just like, you saw how rudimentary that was. It's literally cutting and pasting into a Word doc. You could do it much lighter than mine. It could just be articles. It could just be some commentary. But it's a great way to communicate across business lines. Now think about it. If you're a branch banker, maybe a market leader, you could put together a similar, like around your community. What new businesses are coming in? Who's having a ribbon cutting? Um, what are they promoting on social? Are we following them? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there is such a great opportunity to lift up those businesses around us. And it doesn't just happen by, oh my gosh, I went to City Hall and got the list of new businesses that filed their DBA certificates this month, and now I'm going to cold call them or go out and introduce myself. No one cares, right? But when you're part of their business and you want to make them successful, that's where the win is. I'll give you a quick example. There was I don't know how to call it. Like, I think it was like a Japanese restaurant. They did sushi and food in our area, but they also launched a sauce line in conjunction, I believe it was with Williams-Sonoma. And one of the managers, so the manager had a great relationship with this business owner, saw her all the time, would go have sushi at her place, whatever, basic stuff, right? But she went to her sauce launch at the mall at Williams-Sonoma. And she's like, oh my gosh, my banker was there. And she like took pictures of it and shared it on social and like got so excited and said, oh, this is so-and-so, like a picture of them together. She just launched new sauce. Go check it out. Like, how cool is that? Like, if your banker shows up. Now, this information, if you're the manager, may not come from you. And that's okay. You do not have to be the smartest, but maybe you have someone on in your branch has some extra time, or maybe you have a shared sheet amongst all of you. Anytime you see something important, you throw it in the sheet, and then you guys recap together and say, okay, how are we going to divide and conquer? Who's going to go welcome this business? Oh, this one's having they just remodeled. We're going to go do this. Like, we're going to send this one a bouquet of flowers. Like, think about all the opportunities that we're missing because we're not pulling them together somewhere. I think that's so awesome. I had somewhere like there's a business magazine called Worcester Business Journal near us, and they do a 40 under 40. And this is like one of those things that, like, how do you make it a systemic part of your organization and not just live with one person? Because this idea lived with me, and I don't believe it continued since I've gone. But every year when the Worcester Business Journal announced their 40 under 40, I'd look them all up. I'd see who was a customer, and I would send them a bouquet of flowers from a local flower shop and say, congrats on your 40 under 40 win from your friends and fans over at the bank. You know how much, like, I don't want to say press, that's not right, the word, like eyeballs, impressions, like reshares that got, because they would get it and then they would take a picture of how beautiful it was and they would post it on their socials, like on maybe if they had a business on their business. Like, it just got so many eyeballs, and it was a genuine thing because, like, you want to support people that do business with you. I would put it in the CRM. So people would know that where it came from. I would, if there was a loan officer involved, like if it was a business customer, I'd email the loan officer and say, hey, I'm putting your name on this. I wanted to let you know what we're doing. And it was so cool because people just feel so valued, and it's things that you're paying attention. You're awake, you're in tune to what's going on around you. And these are such small moments that we tend to miss because we're so focused on, got to meet our checking numbers, got to get our goals, do we call once in the morning, leave a message, call in the afternoon, don't leave a message? Like, do we have our CD reports? Like, no, like, that stuff's great. Okay. Sure. Does it help? Maybe. Okay. But when you're actually in the business of building relationships and in meeting people where they are, that's what's going to have them coming back and referring their friends and family. Because when you actually look at the data, and we talked about this, banks love data, but they don't want to listen to the data. Most of the time, the reason people come to bank with you is referral from friends or family. And what are you doing about that? You're just sending out postcards. Yeah, asking them to bring their auto loan over to you. You got to think beyond that. And this is a good example of how to get there. It doesn't happen overnight. So in another couple of things, like think about if you're a risk or compliance team, a fraud, right? You can share latest fraud trends, and maybe it's a little fraud newsletter. Marketing, maybe there's marketing trends you want to share about. I know that's always a hard one to explain, why you're hopping on the latest thing, or doing this or doing that, or adding a channel to TikTok or whatever. People don't understand. If you're not in the marketing realm, you tend to glaze over that stuff and just think it's silly or stupid. So this is a way of showing the bigger picture and also weaving in some results. Now, if you're wondering, Carrie, that's cute. That's wonderful. I love that. But I'm a big picture person. I'm a president. I'm a CEO. Okay. I don't have this doesn't apply to me. Yeah, maybe I'll read it because it's interesting. Okay. But what am I going to do? You should do one too. Okay. It's called managing your board. The same way team members are managing you and feeding you ideas and things that they want you to think about and be warmed up to down the road, you want to do the same thing to your board. So if you're seeing good articles out there, trends, stuff like that, I say before your board meeting, send them a little newsletter. It can just be super basic. You want to make it easy because boards are busy. They don't necessarily have time to click a lot of places. You want to maybe cut and paste some of the articles in there for them, the links, whatever. Maybe give them a little summary. Use ChatGPT to help if you need to. Use Claude to help you if you need to. But that's a great way to manage your board and start to warm them up to topics that they may not be exposed to and give them a little education here and there. So if you're a president or CEO, that is my pro tip for you, that this kind of around the web news or trends, anything like that is a great thing to include for them as well. What do you guys think? Do you do anything similar? Any sort of competitive reports or trending or social listening? I think we should do a sesh just on social listening because that is my absolute favorite thing. Because it can help you win business too. And it can help your brand perception. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. Shout out to the replay crew. Let me know where you're tuning in from. You might not be watching live, but you are watching on the treadmill in the morning, getting your steps in before you go to work, on your commute into the office, or on your ride home. Maybe you're doing your hair or combing your beard. Maybe you can't sleep, so my voice is soothing you to bed. Who knows? But definitely be sure to like and subscribe and throw some comments in because I do go back and look at them. Okay. We don't forget our replay crew. We love our replay crew. You're still important to us. So if we want to talk about, so we talked about a little bit about around the web and what that is. And so basically our shows model around the web news. And I just kind of talk about trending topics and stuff like that. Today, we have some very important around the web news that we are going to talk about. There are trends that are exploding right now. And so this is up for all you social peeps, your marketing peeps, but also everyone else who wonders what social and marketing is doing all the time. We're going to talk trends. So there was a heist. Does anyone know what this was? It was not a bank heist, although that would be classic. It was not a jewelry heist. It was not an art heist. Yes, I see. Yep. It was, you got it. It was a KitKat heist. There was chocolate stolen. So the story that unfolded over the weekend, Nestle, the makers of KitKat, announced on Instagram that thieves had swiped over 400,000 units of KitKat bars somewhere along their way from the factory in central Italy to Poland. Okay. Both the chocolate bars and the truck containing them are missing. So what does Nestle do? What does KitKat do? They come out with a statement. Let me see. Can I make myself a little bigger because I think you can still see it if I do. Oh, boop. There we go. Okay, that's good. We need a bigger me because this is the Carrie show, not the KitKat show. So they go to social with a statement. A little bit of it is fun. Some of it is just to get ahead of the news that's out there. So supposedly everything's fine. There's no interruption in supply chain. There's no issues with employees or threats or anything like that. These are just missing. Okay. And so they always say in the release quote, they say, we've always encouraged people to take a break with KitKat, but it seems thieves have taken this message too literally and have made a break with more than 12 metric tons of our chocolate. So part of this is because, of course, there's going to be a story out there in the news about trucks of chocolate being taken. So they get ahead of it and they post this little release. But they know if they put a fun spin on it, give the people what they want, and the other brands will join in. This is like PR gold. So I'm going to show you some of the other ones that joined in. Okay. Domino's in their official statement. Let me just pull this up. Domino's. We would like to share our thoughts and condolences with KitKat following their recent sad news. On a completely unrelated note, we're pleased to announce that we'll now be selling a new KitKat pizza. Funny. DoorDash. Official statement. Hey guys, DoorDash here. Due to a completely random packaging error, we have 12 tons of KitKats in our Dash Marts that we can't sell. The good news, all you have to do is go to your DoorDash app and add like 500 to 600 KitKats to your cart, and this should resolve itself quickly. Thank you. Now, I love these statements because it reminds me of a trend recently where people have been posting these like official statement like apologies, but they're like backwards apologies. Like, we want to apologize for the amazing customer service that we've been giving out recently and the really fast shipping that we've had on our website and the really high quality goods that we have. And if you are not a lover of high quality, we are so sorry. But these kind of statements grab attention because they look so official, as does the KitKat one. So similarly, McDonald's, because this happened in Europe, a lot of the European brands were jumping in. So McDonald's France, I translated it here. I had to use Google. My French is 0. We still have some KitKats left just in case. So this looks like it could be one of their blizzards. What do they call them over there? Not blizzards. Not Frosties. I don't know. Either way, their ice cream desserts. That's going to bother me. What are frozen ice cream drinks at McDonald's called? McFlurries. I should have known that. Okay, so they post here about the McFlurries. So this is so funny. So that they're doing KitKat McFlurries. Okay, next one. KFC. This is a different take. They just jump on the trend by resharing, which is a super easy thing to do. They didn't need to create their whole other thing. They just say, sorry guys, we were product testing for our 12th herb and spice. I love that. Denny's. So this one's more of the alibi approach. So they're not talking about it there. The official statement. We would like to make one thing clear. Whatever happened to those KitKats happened between 1:30 a.m. and 4 a.m. and we were very busy. No further questions. I love that. They took a totally different approach, but it was so on brand for them because obviously Denny's is like a late night, early morning shop. I don't know if they have them all over the US, but we do have them here in New England. And so like you go to Denny's for like a greasy spoon, like after a night of partying or early morning breakfast. It's kind of like a Waffle House. So I thought that was great. Very on brand. The next one was McAfee. They're like I don't want to say cybersecurity, but like an antivirus. Our Our thoughts are with KitKat as they face the loss of 12 tons of chocolate. We may not know where the chocolate went, but what we do know is this: protecting consumers isn't something we take a break from. Amazing. Two funny things there. They use protecting and they take break. So protecting is what they do. Take a break is part of the KitKat jingle. Give me a break. So they wrap that up really nicely, on brand for both companies. This one is from Jimmy's Famous Seafood. So Jimmy's Famous Seafood, I believe they're in Maryland. Tell me if I'm wrong. But they recently got some controversy and praise because they responded to a tweet about the US or something to do with I don't know if it was the national anthem or whatever, but they pretty much told someone to F off on Twitter, like with those words, and got so much praise for what they said. They kind of totally went viral. And that was a very, and I don't know if it's on brand for them prior to this, but since then they've definitely made this part of their brand where they jump in on conversations and they're a little bit witty. I mean, that was definitely a very calculated risk, to use the F word, as a company. But so they put thoughts and prayers to the folks at KitKat during this difficult time in the company's history, hoping they locate those responsible and restore order. In unrelated news, our KitKat Martini is just now $5 as we bravely attempt to assist with the sudden surplus situation. I thought that was funny. Now, this one, we talked about Katie, the mortgage lady. So she's local to me, and I thought this was so adorable. I had to throw it in there. So she is a mortgage broker for a company near me, and she she put a cute selfie, and I believe this is AI generated, obviously, because she probably doesn't have totes of Kit Kats in her office, but I thought this was adorable. So she tied together the mortgage process with the Kit Kat. So authorities are still looking for 400,000 missing Kit Kats in Europe. Meanwhile, no comment from me. But if you do need something solid and reliable, unlike my chocolate management inventory skills, I've got you covered on the mortgage side. I promise I won't make you jump through a bunch of wafers to get approved. Whether you're buying, refinancing, or just wondering what I could do, I'm here for you. And yes, I will break you off a piece of that mortgage strategy. I love that. Like, this is so cute. A nice way to tie it in without being too goofy. It's very on brand for her, where not necessarily that she jumps in on trends, but that she's just authentic, relatable, and real time. A lot of the stuff that she does is in real time. So I love, love, love this. Now we're going to take a quick break, because I've been trying to find for you guys some banks and credit unions that did a KitKat trend. There weren't many, and I did post in a Facebook group asking. I didn't get any responses. Only people were like laughing. But I did. I searched on Facebook, like KitKat Bank, KitKat Credit Union, like trying to find some that may have posted it, and I want to talk about it before I show you the couple that I found. So you're maybe wondering, like, Carrie, hold on. I'm going to pull this up. Carrie, what are you doing? What does KitKat relate to banking? This is stupid. Okay. Sure. It seems silly. And I'm going to tell you that if I saw this and I sent it to my social media person, they would either tell me, yep, well, we're going to jump on it. Already on it, Carrie. Duh. Or, nope, this doesn't fit our brand. So I think these are really fun. And it's not necessarily about KitKat, right? There's always going to be some sort of viral trend that's happening. And I know this is going to be counterintuitive. We just talked about Pi Day slop and how that was irrelevant and a non sequitur. I understand this might be confusing, but I'm going to try to walk you through it. Okay? Shout out in the comments if you're confused as we go through this. What questions you have. I'm going to take this down for a second. There we go. Okay. So I understand. If you're a bank or credit union and I tell you the Pi Day is slop and did not do it, why would you want to jump on the KitKat trend? Fair. That's a fair question. So this isn't about going viral, but as a brand, you need to prove that you're paying attention. Okay. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about like the do's and don'ts of jumping on a trend like this and how it could help you as an organization. So when it comes to something like this, if you're thinking, do I jump on the KitKat trend? Recommendation number 1, move at the speed of culture. If you're reacting to something viral, you do not have a week. Okay. You have barely a day. You need to jump on this right away. If you are watching this now, and the heist was what, the 29th, don't go and post a KitKat trend. You've missed it. It's over. Okay. Just keep this in mind for the next thing. When you look at something like this, it's very important to stay in character. So if it isn't you, don't force it. All right. If it doesn't meet your brand and your tone and your voice, don't do it. So like when a bank tries to be like, like Duolingo, okay? With the Duolingo owl, whatever. If you're trying to be that witty and that chaotic, it's cringe. No one's that good. I have yet to see your bank or credit union that is Duolingo good. Okay? Don't be cringe. And not every brand needs to jump into every moment. All right? Your tone needs to match like past campaigns. It helps build your consistency. So it's not like tone, something completely different. Oh, we're talking about KitKats, and then back to like your boring tone. Like if you have this fun vibe, if it matches, if there's a way to weave it into your branding, do it. Okay. It should feel like you on your best regular day. It should not feel like you're having a personality crisis. It should not make you wonder, who am I talking to right now? Okay. Next one, it's okay to be a little unhinged. The best brand moments feel a little risky and they could feel uncomfortable. I know when we did like forever ago, when we did our Pokemon Go, that was a little risky. It did not feel good for our security officer, but it felt good for getting engagement and likes and shares. It needs to feel unscripted, but not reckless. Those are two different things. So it's okay to be a little unhinged, but don't be reckless. There's a statistic. Let me see if I can find it. Content strategy. Let me see if I can find it. I'm not going to get this right, but oh, what's this? Okay, I'm not going to find it. But like there's a ratio of when you're a social profile, like of either informing, uplifting, positive, educational posts to brand posts and product posts, okay? You don't want product, KitKat, product, okay? And you don't want all cat memes or Pi Day posts, okay? It has to be a balance. You want to make sure that you are promoting what you do as an organization, what you're doing as a brand, what you're doing as a business. But not every post has to be fun and not every post has to be serious and businessy. So you want to think of that as you're balancing, that it feels very like smooth and authentic to who you are, but in a fun, little bit unhinged kind of way. Does that make sense? Okay. Now this is for my compliance friends. We need to throw some shade on you a little bit. Okay. Don't over approve it to death. And my marketing social peeps, just press send. Okay. Just press send. Tell them Carrie said it was okay. You do not need to send this to 14 stakeholders, legal to have them rewrite the joke, and then tone policing every single word. Nothing kills virality faster than that. Okay. You will not be funny. You will not, there will not be engagement if you're doing that. Plus, it slows you down. By the time you post, all right, the internet's moved on. You either empower your team to act or you sit this out. Okay. You can't be aware and engage in regular trends if you have 14 layers of approvals and everything needs to be run through internal or, God forbid, external compliance. That kills those brand moments. Next one, and it's going to be hard because when you want to be fun, you try to do it within your brand guidelines and it turns into really boring. So don't make this about you, okay? Brands have the risk of hijacking some of these moments instead of joining them. You don't necessarily want it to be about you. They make it over branding. They turn it into a heavy product push. It feels like a sales pitch. So if you're in the moment where you're doing something viral like this, and jumping on a trend, if you find yourself putting member FDIC equal housing lender on it, chances are you're not fun and it's more about you than it is about the trend. If it feels like an ad, you've already lost the game. That makes sense? Like just don't do it if it feels like an ad. It's okay to weave it into a product, and we'll talk about that because I wrote down right before the show started, I wrote down some ideas as examples. But the rule is if it feels like an ad, no, you've already lost. And then how does this land for you as a financial institution? These things aren't going to make you go viral. Okay. It's not going to all of a sudden, get you thousands and thousands of views and clicks. Okay. It could boost some of your engagement. You might get some likes and shares because it's interesting or funny. And we like that. That's important. It helps with the algorithm. But it proves you're paying attention, that you're awake, that you're not asleep at the wheel, that you're relevant. Because sometimes banks and credit unions aren't like that. We're just not. Okay, we're asleep at the wheel. We're stuffy. All we care about is ourselves. We're not aware to our surroundings. So I wrote down a couple brainstorms. So my line notepad, because I keep line notepad with me for these moments. Okay. So if I were doing this, and this is just off the cuff, I didn't proofread this or anything. So I have a couple different categories. So, and this isn't wordsmithed. So do not, all I want you to do is laugh and give me some thumbs up and some hearts. Okay. That's all I'm looking for. Don't say, oh, you didn't say that right. But think about this. As a brand, your post, you think 400,000 pieces of KitKats, going missing is crazy. Think of how much money disappears per day due to frauds and scams. Right? You could do a little spin on that. Okay? You could do a fraud team update. So our fraud team is actively investigating the KitKat situation. So far, we've determined no suspicious transactions, no compromised accounts, really good taste in chocolate. Check. Case remains open. You could do, this is tying it to a product. It could be imagine you earn points every time you bought a KitKat. Just saying. Reward season. The real heist, checking account fees. Ours, $0. So you could use it as a way to say, oh man, you think stealing KitKats is a crime? You should pay in checking account fees or worse. If the biggest heist in your life feels like a checking account, we should talk. Now, then there's the local. So if you, I had worked previously with a chocolate shop that did chocolates for us. There are so many out there, but in our area, there was one called Chocolate Therapy, and they were phenomenal. And they made these gorgeous, delicious chocolates. So now think about doing a collab, a local angle. Can't find a KitKat anywhere? Good thing our friends at Chocolate Therapy have you covered for Easter. Shop local, right? Something like that. Now, imagine if you wanted to tie it to a promo. not necessarily a new account, right? Go out and buy boxes of Kit Kats. I don't know if you have like Costco's or BJ's near you, right? Go get a couple boxes and say something like, we can't confirm anything, but there are Kit Kats in the branch today, right? Take a picture with your team with Kit Kats, maybe someone with like chocolate all over their face. Okay? These are funny. These get views. All right. Did I have any more? That's my, see, I wrote Kit Kat brainstorm. And I just scribbled these down before. Yeah. So like those are ways to get engagement. Those are ways to feel authentic to your brand, probably to build upon a trend, to get some likes and views and shares, and not just be AI or pie slop. See previous episodes about AI and pie slop. Do not post a bunch of AI pictures about Kit Kats. Go out and buy some Kit Kats and take some fun pictures, or take some fun pictures of your team, or like come up with a graphic yourself. These are ideas. But like I just said, the trend is over, so don't do it. These are just some things you could think about for the next time something viral comes by. I did find, and I'm going to pull this back up on the screen, when I searched, I did find 2 organizations just purely by searching that had jumped on the Kit Kat trend. So North Alabama Educators Credit Union. There's a picture of a truck. It says, an unusual offer of collateral for a secured loan came through from overseas. Hashtag Kit Kat. So now I want to preface this by saying the 2 that I found, I might roast you. Okay. And if you did this because you saw my post asking about Kit Kat, I'm sorry. I was not trying to bait you into doing a Kit Kat post. Now, we want to say, does this feel authentic to North Alabama Educators Credit Union? The graphic is okay. Do they do a lot of secured loans? I don't know. Let's look at their Facebook. So I'm going to take this off. How do I do this? Take this off the screen. Okay. And then I'm going to put up their social. We're going to troll through their socials right now. Okay, that's a different one. North, what'd I say? Alabama Educators Credit Union. Okay, ready? I had it up, but I must have clicked out of it. So let me go back. We are still figuring ourselves out. Okay, share. Okay, put it on the stage. Okay, look at their brand with me, people. They're red. Their logo is red. Kit Kat's logo is red. Okay. Let's look at their other posts. Okay. Young members, happy St. Patrick's Day. We're back online. Scam alert. Our branch is back up and running. A couple nondescript pictures of an event that 5K. Our annual meeting. Annual meeting's coming. We're closed for President's Day. Save big on tax prep. Annual meeting notice. Delayed opening. Now we're in January. So a couple quick scrolls and we're in January. Weather alert closer. Holiday closures for Martin Luther King Day. Holiday closure. Like if I just did like 2 scrolls and I'm already at the holiday closure for Christmas, this does not feel on brand for you. Okay. Maybe skip the Kit Kat trend. This does not feel authentic to your brand. If I did like 2 scrolls, okay, maybe 3, and I'm already there. Okay. Probably skip that trend. It does not feel like it's your vibe. Okay. On the flip side, let's take this one off and put this back up. And next slide. So I found this one, Commercial National Bank of Texarkana. Is that what it says? Stop sharing. Yeah, Texarkana. I've never actually seen that like written out. Okay, now let's go to their site. So this one says, at CNB, we take security seriously, whether it's your finances or favorite chocolate. You may have seen the news. A real-life KitKat heist has people talking, and while we can't confirm anything, we did notice our break room stash looking a little suspicious lately. Coincidence? We think not. I like this, okay? It's a little vanilla, okay? But it's hopping on a trend. It's cute, and let's see if it matches the brand. So we're going to take this down, and we're going to boop, 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 share our screen. Okay, so now we're going to go to their Facebook. And now I do have to say, we'll get into this later, you can post different things on different channels, right? So what might not fly on your Facebook because the executives are watching may fly on Instagram or TikTok or Threads, the wild, wild west. Okay, people may people may not see what you post on Threads, and you can get away with it. Okay, so this is their Facebook page. So I will say, you look at it. So next post down, the green, the gold. Look at this. The branding is very consistent. Let's see, some team pictures. Okay, there's something about their roots and the family. Look at this, a scholarship or sponsorship, community banks near me. Some fun team pictures. So I would say this one's we'll give them an 8 out of 10. I feel like this, I feel like this, stay hydrated, stay secure. So clearly security is something about one of their, looks like they have a product called the secure checking. So it feels like this is on brand for them. This is authentic. They were able to weave that into the post. Okay. Here's a fraud alert. All right. And look, we've just done a couple scrolls and we're not even in the middle of February. Okay. So they post frequently. The colors are on brand. The theme of security. Oh, see, I have to scroll so many. The theme of security is on brand. Great job. 8 out of 10. I don't know what I marked you off for, but probably something. But that's okay. So I think they did a really good job. So these are just 2 examples of jumping on these kind of trends and whether it makes sense or not. Yeah, I have a couple more quick that's important to share. So we need to talk about Hannah Montana and then we'll wrap up. So Hannah Montana just announced the 20th anniversary of the show. So there's a couple things here. One, this could be considered a viral trend, and we will talk about it. But also, Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus, has done some interviews lately, specifically with Variety magazine, where she talks about some advice she got from her godmother Dolly Parton, and we're gonna listen to it. She repeats it on Variety, and I have a TikTok on that, but I think she does it better on Good Morning America. So we're gonna pull that up because this is something that I live by, and it gets me in trouble. But it talks about I'm just gonna let it speak for itself. Ready? Okay, so we're gonna add this to the stage.
I'm this excited, so I was happy that everyone else was on board, because something that, on this couch, I had a lot of scenes with Dolly Parton, who's my godmother in real life. Who said you can't be 10 feet tall? I say that I can have it all. And one of my favorite pieces of advice she ever gave me was start promoting something before it's real, because then as people get excited, it'll be easier to make it happen. Okay. So I just started talking about a Hannahversary special before one even existed. And then I went to Disney and said, look how excited everyone is about this, imaginary Hannahversary.
Behind my closet is my closet.
GMA even getting a
I love that. And that has been one of my guiding principles is talking things into existence. So if you are a strategist, if you are a marketer, if you're someone in financial services or really anything, I've always teased things coming up that I wasn't sure was actually going to happen. But I would say 9 times out of 10, these things come together eventually. There's a word for it that I've learned over the years. IOP, illusions of progress. So sometimes if you just talk about it, like I'm going to pull up another quick TikTok about Miley Cyrus. You'll see what I'm talking about. Ready? And I am not a Miley Cyrus girly, so this whole rant about her is not founded in anything other than I love that quote.
You started all this.
I did start this. I manifested it with you.
The drama. Promote something before it's happening because then they can't say no. So I just started saying there was a Haniversary special. There was none.
The Hannah Montana anniversary plans coming along.
Absolutely. We're working hard on them.
What are you going to do? Just tease us.
I can't tell you.
Just tell me one little tease.
You see the bangs.
I cannot tell you how many times I teased or talked about a product launch or an initiative or a collab or an idea, and it finally came to life. I'll give you an example that's the most recent. I left my job in June of last year, and I almost immediately within the week posted something on Instagram that said, we're just getting started. Welcome to the Carrie show. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know where that was going to end up. But I felt like there was something there. And so many people DM me. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I want to know what the Carrie show is. I love this. This is so exciting. And here we are like 8 months later and we have 2 months of the Carrie show under our belt. And it's so incredible. So I firmly believe that you can talk and will things into existence. And sometimes just sharing IOP or illusions of progress helps bring these things to life. So if you feel stuck in your organization, if you're stuck with your ideas, that it's not going anywhere, start to dribble out, sprinkle Salt Bay. That's not even trendy. A little illusions of progress out there. It'll make it happen. And it's easier to just say it so much that they can't say no. So as this relates to, and this is our final kind of like parting thoughts, as this relates to Hannah Montana and the recent trend, I did stumble across a couple of banks and credit unions that jumped on the Hannah Montana trend. And I want to know what you think. Okay. You tell me, because when I first saw this, so this is Wendy's. It says fries plus Frosty equals the best of both worlds. Wendy, Indiana. Kind of think that's funny. I saw this one from Bluestone Bank. And so they're near me. And it says, at Bluestone Bank, your money is even safer than Hannah's secret. In fact, all deposits at Bluestone Bank are 100% insured. This made possible by, and start talking about FDIC DIF. So that's where they get me. I don't know if I love the FDIC DIF reference. When I first saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is lame. But I take that back. I don't think it's horrible. They tried, and I want to give them like 2 thumbs up for trying, like 6 out of 10. Okay. You tried, you did something. They were I feel like this was a little sneaky and strategic. They put it on Instagram because I went to like, where did I see that? I know it was Bluestone. And I went back and looked and it was not on their Facebook. So good job. Maybe that gives them a 7 out of 10 for catering their channels to their content and their users. Love that. Okay. So we'll give you a 7 out of 10. All right. This one is from Space Coast Credit Union. So from piggy banks and flip phones to people first banking and stronger protection because better banking is the best of both worlds. So it shows 2006 versus 2026. I like this. I think this is cute. This feels very on brand for them. I did go back and look at their socials. And it did show that this was their new like logo and mascot. This may have been a mascot back in the day. So I love this. And I think this jumps on the brand. And you can see that they got quite a bit of engagement They have, I tried to snip the number of likes and shares. They have 21 likes, 7 shares, or 21 reactions, 7 shares. So you can tell that even though like they didn't have a ton of followers, that this spiked some engagement. So that's a great way. It's not just clickbait. It's not just weird cat memes. It's not just empty Pi Day posts. They related this back to their brand, and they use it to get some laughs and some engagement while still staying within their brand guidelines. I love this. So, you know what? 9.5 out of 10. I don't know if I can give you a 10 out of 10 yet. This one I think is also so good. Y12 Credit Union. They do some quotes. This is the life. We hope our fellow Hannah Montana fans enjoy the 20th anniversary special. So they do Me in 2006 and Me in 2026. I wonder if one copied the other. They're very similar. They showed their branch glow ups. They showed their debit cards, sparkly purse. I liked that. Sometimes people copy each other. That's okay. So if one of you copy the other, you tell me. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But again, this one got 38 reactions, a comment, and a share. A great job. We'll give you a tie. 9.5 out of 10. I like it just as much. I wanted to say 9, but I don't have a reason why I liked the other one better. Do I have a reason? Do you have a reason? I don't know. I just visually, there wasn't as much going on in the other one. I kind of like that. There's a little too much going on here. Or maybe it's just I don't know. Something's not sitting right. But we'll give you both a 9.5. Now, this one, because when I searched Hannah Montana or Hanniversary, and then bank or Hanniversary and then credit union. This came up, and this is a missed opportunity. So I'm going to call out this girl, Angela Harrington. Angela, this is phenomenal. Okay. So it says here, at Farmers Bank and Trust, you get modern convenience with mobile and online banking. It says, let's talk the best of both worlds, banking edition. Plus real people, real branches ready to help when it matters the most. Stop in and see us, blah, blah. Okay. She appears to be, because I looked her up, it says on there, marketing assistant for Farmers Bank and Trust. She reshares a lot of the bank content. So maybe she makes this content. She didn't post this from the brand page. Angela, this would have been so good. I love this. Like, I mean, you should get a 9.5 out of 10 too. What does the 0.5? I don't know. I love this. I thought this was cute. It was to the point. It's not like super crazy. And I feel like it would have been on brand. Like, take the chance, girl. This would have been so good. I love it. Now, I did happen to, in this whole thing, stumble across what I feel like is a missed opportunity. And this is our parting thought. When I was searching Montana, Hannah Montana, and bank or Hannah Montana and credit union, I came across, we're going to show this, Montana Credit Union. You guys seem to be having a little crisis right now. I'm sorry. We've all been there. Without me having read this whole thing, it looks like they're like clapping back at their members for having outrage against the ITMs or the PTMs, personal teller machines, interactive teller machines, whatever you guys call them, that people don't like them. I've seen this happen in the community. Okay. Look, we've heard it before. I hate those things. And honestly, we get it. Our PTMs have been around for a few years. And for some members, they still prefer traditional drive-up windows experience they were used to. Change and technology can be overwhelming, especially when something new replaces something familiar. But here's what we'd love to clear up, because PTMs are often misunderstood. First things first. These are not robots or AI. When you see a person on the screen, that's a real Montana Credit Union teller working right inside one of our buildings. Local, live, trained, and ready to help. It's no different than talking to a teller through a drive-up window, except instead of looking through the distant glass and sun glare, this is like so... guys, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do this. Okay, I gotta look at this screen because I'm like not looking at you guys. I'm looking at my other screen. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Or you're seeing the teller clearly close up and completing the same transaction you've always done. But I had a bad experience. That's fair, and we won't pretend technology is perfect. Just like phones, computers, or even card readers, PTMs can occasionally have hiccups. When something doesn't work right, it can be discouraging, especially if you've already unsure about the technology. The good news, if there's ever an issue, a real Montana Credit Union staff member is still there to help. Like, dude, you're like roasting your clients. Don't roast your members. This is not a good idea. If you've tried PTMs once and walked away frustrated, we truly encourage giving them another chance. You're leading with like the negatives here. I would not roast your membership. But I gotta say, your branding is beautiful. Okay, now envision. Let's turn this all around. This would have been a great time, and now you can say during a PR crisis, you don't want to do this. I say lean into it. Okay, there should be Miley Cyrus wigs. You should have Hannah Montana as a teller. You should decorate your ITMs with glitter or sparkles or Hannah Montana or even a blonde cutout wig. Those, even if it's a guy, girl, she, they, them, whatever, on the screen, if you're a personal teller on the virtual, you need to be wearing a Hannah Montana wig. You need to have the whole, like maybe a sparkly vest. I don't know. All right. But they need to lean into this. Your name is Montana Credit Union. You can do this. You can talk about the best of both worlds, the physical, the digital, how they blend together. This was a missed opportunity. I feel like there's still a little time to make it up. All right. But blasting and then signing it warmly, Montana Credit Union. You know what warmly means? Okay. Sorry, guys. We went too far down the road without the sunnies. Okay. Warmly, comma, Montana Credit Union. You might as well have written best. Okay. Like, oh, as we promised, you're never talking to a robot. There's so much opportunity here to like spin this around and make it fun. They had so many comments of like hate. I feel bad for them. Do you guys need some like PR help? Just like hit me up. You know where to find me. Like just slide into my DMs. This would have been a great opportunity to do the best of both worlds. Right? Okay. Do you agree? Let me check the chat. Oh, I'm getting nope. Not getting roasted in the chat. Good. Replay crew. I'm gonna send this to Montana Credit Union. You guys with me? I feel bad. Like no one is exempt from a PR crisis, but it's how you handle it. And oh my gosh, I've seen some bad ones. We should do a show on bad PR crises. But good news, the studio has some plans to help with that. Cool. Okay. Let's just check off our checklist and see if we got everything. Did we talk about everything that we needed to talk about? Do you guys have anything to talk about? We talked about around the web strategies. We talked about the KitKat trend, do's and don'ts, ideas. Okay. Hannah Montana, advice from the Miley Cyrus interview. Yeah, I love that. All right, cool. That is our show for today, Smarties. We're going to wrap up unless anyone has anything else. I'm checking the chat. Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you. Yes. Oh, I love that. I get so many hearts and thumbs. Thank you. This has been so fun. And as you can tell, like another topic I am just absolutely passionate about. If you have any ideas afterwards, send them over to me. If you have any thoughts, do you disagree with me? Because that's okay. Here at the studio, I don't always have to be right. But thank you so much, everyone. Be sure to like and subscribe and stay social. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter X, and a little bit of TikTok. Follow us at Bank Smart Studio, at Bank Smart Carrie. Like and subscribe to keep the channel running and support the studio. All right, everyone, stay social, Smarties. Thank you.
Wait, where did she go? Why is this still on? Bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye.